I was just at the bank cashing a check. It was a little royalty payment for some book sales. I tell you, those don't come often enough, but every once in a while I get one, about $100. So I was there to put it in my account. And while the lady behind the counter was processing it, I said, good old book sales. And she's like, oh, you're an author. I'm like, yep. And then that naturally got the conversation started, which was great because then it gave me the opportunity to talk about Cancer Cured, my book, and about cancer itself. And amazingly, there's like a whole bunch of people in there behind me waiting in line, and there's like a bunch of cashiers too and tellers. So it was a great opportunity to share my thoughts on it out loud in public and get real about cancer. So I told her after that, she asked me what kind of book or what do you write about? And I said it was on cancer. And I said, because my mom died of cancer when I was 12 years old. And I want to make sure no kid has to go through what I did. You know, either we solve this or we're all going to get consumed by this industry, which annihilates people for profit. You look at the statistics right now, they say 1 in 2 people are going to die of cancer. And I told her, like, when I was 12 years old, like, I don't even think my mom was sick. She just had a little polyp on her cervix about the size of a baby fingernail. So the doctors wanted to go cut it off. One of the things they said, I guess, was that, oh, if you don't cut this off, it's going to kill you. You know, oh, this little... It's like the idea that this is like a Pac-Man kind of cell or group of cells that are trying to annihilate you. Well, guess what? From my research, there's no evidence suggesting that. That's like the chupacabra. It's a myth. It's a mythology being pushed by the industry because it's a profitable myth. No cancer cell is trying to hurt anyone. But that's besides the point. I'm going to finish this story, then I might get more into that. Doctors went in, they cut it off, and then they're like, oh, just to make sure, we better hit it with radiation. So we'll do some radiotherapy on there. Well, I hope you know about radiotherapy. It's the same stuff that comes from a nuclear bomb. So the only way you can justify that is if, in fact, any growth is some monster werewolf cell that's trying to kill you, but it's not. It's not Pac-Man. That's not what's happening. But they did it anyways. They cut off that little polyp, and then they radiated her midsection. And the side effects were horrible. I can show you a number of studies that show radiating people with ionizing radiation at the levels that they give, at the intensity of radiotherapy, causes cancer cells to pop up in distal organs and regions of the body. And so sure enough, 6 months later, my mom went back for a checkup, and they found cancer in distal regions and organs of the body. They said, oh, we found aggressive cancer in your hip area. Oh, now we better inject poison into you. Oh, great idea. Yeah, and guess what happened? Miserable, torturous death. I remember laying in bed at night, hearing her downstairs just whimpering and crying, pacing back and forth because she was in such pain. So I told the lady at the cash, she got real about it. She was from El Salvador. And she said, yeah, my mom has cancer right now. And she said, we rejected radiotherapy and chemotherapy. And she doesn't want to get surgery. But basically she had a thyroid cancer, and they cut out her thyroid, which is pretty brutal. It's like we're cars or something. Yeah, a part's not working, let's just rip it out, you know? It's insane. That's not how the body works. The body has an amazing capacity to heal. So you don't just fucking chop shit out when things aren't working, you know? But that's what we do in this world. Good old medical industry, killing more people than it helps. Cancer industry, I like to joke about it, but it's not funny, is that oncology centers are like slaughterhouses. They are. But the fact is, we've all seen people get chemotherapy and come out worse off than they were before. Not only once, time and time and time again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me. How many times have people been fooled in this world by that? You fucking see it over and over again. So if you die by chemotherapy or radiotherapy, well, it's like you're a fucking sheep. If you're going to believe everything you're told, I'm sorry. You know, I don't feel bad for you then. To an extent, it's really easy to just believe your doctor, everything they say, and not think for yourself. But in this world, whether it's cancer or anything, the medical industry offers some very toxic things. They're not all bad. Some drugs that it offers are good, but very few. And in 2002, Dr. Gary Null, Carolyn Dean, other doctors, he had a whole team working on this. They analyzed all the statistics of doctor-induced injury and death, and basically they concluded that medical care is the number one cause of death. So if people looked at that and thought for themselves, then they'd be like, oh, I don't want this or that. And you can make your own decisions. But if you just let your doctor make your choices for you, I can't help you. We're fucked. We can change this world real easy. Like any product ever that has sat on a shelf and no one purchased, it ceases being produced. It is so simple. But you have to think for yourself and admit the truth when you see it. And what you're seeing is time and time again, people get chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and surgery and come out in worse condition than they were before. When's it going to end? Well, I recommend you buy my book, Cancer Cured. It's got 2,300 scientific and clinical studies in it. It's on Amazon right now, ebook and paperback. The first half of the book is called The Cancer Industry, and it goes through everything. Chemotherapy, surgery, radiotherapy, the concept of early detection, and the idea that maybe they are hiding things from the public. Is there a conspiracy? There was in the cigarette industry. They lied to the public and said their products were safe. There was even advertisements back in the day saying cigarettes were healthy, which is absurd because we know that they're not, and they have killed apparently 100,000 people, it was estimated, in the 19th century alone. And that could have all been prevented if the industry was honest. Businesses have one job, and that is to make money, and even at the expense of people's health. So basically, either you think for yourself, either we as a world think for ourselves and stand up for ourselves. Like if the doctor said, I need chemotherapy, I'd be like, no, not going to happen. Thanks, doc. And if you did that, and if everyone you know did that, and if the whole world did that, it would be over. Chemotherapy would never be offered again. See how easy that is? Be honest and stand up for yourself. And then cancer is cured.